Hello disc golfers, this is Matt Dollar and I'm back with part 2 from round 1 of the East Roswell Frisbee Trail Championship from 2018. After 9 holes, I'm sitting at 7 under par. I had the super hot start and we are in the middle of what we call Birdie Alley. So holes 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. All short, tight, wooded holes.
Yeah.
I went Tomahawk with the Insanity and the Proton Plastic. It's my relatively flippy overhand disc. Sebastian Gentili goes with the righty backhand right side route. You'll see a lot of righties just try to throw it straight up the middle. But in the open division, you'll see a fair bit of them take this right side, which it's a little tougher to hit the initial gap, but it helps you finish right by the pin, whereas the straight route is hard to finish by the pin because the trees kind of pinch in the further you get down the fairway.
Yeah, great.
Carolyn throws an excellent out shot there. Should give her a really good chance to save the par after a bad drive.
Yeah, okay.
Gonna tap in for that birdie to move to 8 under through 10 holes. Sebastian will also grab the birdie there, and everyone else will card the par. Hole 14, this is the only other hole I've aced with a gyro disc after hole 12. The next day, actually, I aced this one with the same disc, the Electron Soft Ion. But today, going Tomahawk with that Insanity yet again. The thing about Birdie Alley, or Overhand Alley, as I've called it before, is normally when I play casually here, I will throw my putter, the Soft Envy, on all of these holes in a row, or the Ion if I'm playing with it that day. But during tournaments, I like to go overhands on all these holes, just to give me the consistency factor to always have a putt. When there's this many trees, if you miss your line with the backhand, you're probably not going to get to the pin, but with an overhand, you have that chance of weaving in and out of the gaps. So definitely pays to throw the overhands on these little tight wooded holes.
Oh, wow.
This basket's pretty protected, so if you don't have a really good drive, it's going to be tough to get a look at the birdie.
Nice putt.
Good putt from Carolyn, probably about a 30-footer there. I have a little bit of a weird straddle, but it's only about a 15-foot putt for the birdie. And after hole 14, I will be at 9 under par through 11. We're going to move in to hole 15. This one does have an out of bounds behind the basket. I'm not going to lie, I really thought that was a good overhand shot I had thrown. I hit the initial gap that you're supposed to hit, which is over halfway to the hole, and then it's all downhill from there. But that late branch I call it kind of made my disc roll back towards us a bit. Going to put me in a tough spot, I'm sure. Sebastian's also going to go with the Tomahawk here. He plays the wide side Tomahawk, but it looks like it worked out very nicely. It's funny, I don't throw a Tomahawk off the tee pad on many holes anywhere. I would say these 3 holes in a row are probably about the only stretch of holes where I throw Tomahawks. Sometimes I get into the little rhythm where I'll throw a thumber a lot, but generally not with the Tomahawk. This is a pretty aggressive run there. After that big putt on 10 and then getting the birdies on the next few holes, I really felt the confidence to make that putt. So overcommitted, the Envy has lots of glide. Left a little bit of a comebacker. That's a tough one to swallow, especially when I'm playing really good and just grabbed a bunch of birdies in a row. To have the bounce out for the par. The bogey's definitely not what I wanted heading into the hardest hole on the course, hole number 16. Sebastian grabbed the birdie back there on 15. He will have the tee box. So this is a par 4. It's only 524 feet, I believe, but it plays extremely tough. The key on the fairway, or the key on the tee shot here, is just to land in the fairway. I throw a putter off the tee basically every time because you have to throw a shot that stands up and rides a little bit to the right but finishes straight. You can't finish right or left. So it doesn't set up that great for an overhand. I'm going soft Indy. That one just had a little too much turn. Should have hit it with just a tiny bit more hyzer. I believe it took a pretty bad kick once it got up there too. We'll see once we go around this corner. Carolyn tries to chip back to the fairway there. Carla threw a nice tee shot to stay in the fairway, but she's going to leave the fairway now. This is just such a tough hole. If you hit a tree on any shot, it's just like you can go ahead and consider getting a 5, pretty standard. Haley Child says no 5 for me. She throws an amazing drive and an even better second shot. She will actually be down there putting for the 3, which on the scoreboard actually looks more like an eagle. You look at the live scoring for this hole, and it just eats people alive. There's 6s and 7s.
Wow, what was that?
And only a few 3s on this hole for the round. I went fireball on a big Anheuser forehand line. I really loved the line. I thought it was going to flex all the way down to the pin. There's actually no more trees to beat after the one that I hit. I hit the branches on the left side of it there.
Still down there.
Everybody else just trying to get down to the green. There's a little ditch right before you get down to the green. I'm actually going to try and run this putt with my Envy. I did not want to get a 5 here. I like that putt for a second, but just got a little too far right. Sebastian gives it a good bid. Now Haley's got a long putt for the 3. Oh my goodness.
Great putt.
What a sick birdie by Haley Childs. We're going to get a replay on that one, slow motion style. Beautiful outside the circle putt for Haley. Great putt from Carolyn there. I'm tapping out for my 5. I believe Sebastian's going to card the 4 here. And Haley Childs with a 3. Carla and Carolyn both take 6s. We're going to move on to hole 17. Now, hole 17 is probably the hardest hole according to par. So hole 16 definitely takes the most strokes because it's a par 4. However, hole 17 is a par 3, and it was birdied 0 times during this round, and 0 times in round 2, and you guessed it, 0 times in round 3. So no birdies on hole 17 for the entire tournament from anyone. I go with the soft Envy off the tee. I'm just trying to play it dead straight and try and land in the fairway, and hopefully have like a 150 to 200 foot upshot. You won't see a lot of people actually go for the birdie on this hole. Off that tee shot, you really would have to throw, for a righty, a big forehand that leaves the fairway once it exits that final gap, and just goes around everything and then gets lucky back to the green. If you take the actual fairway all the way, you're going to end up probably about 40 or 50 feet short with a good sidearm.
Yeah, good catch.
And that is another Envy in my bag. That one's actually an Electron Envy. It's not soft, or not in the soft plastic, but it's pretty soft. So this is the 4th different Envy I've thrown this round. There is a road down here on the left side, so that's actually what Haley hit and took that nasty kick left. And she did go out of bounds on that kick.
Great shot.
Very nice pitch back by Haley, though.
Good shot.
Sebastian cards the 3, and so do I, and that feels like a birdie for sure. And we move to hole 18. Hole 16, 17, 18 is just an incredibly hard finishing stretch on this course. Today it's not our finishers, but just a brutal gauntlet to finish any round. Hole 18, you go uphill slightly up over this hill right there, and then you got to go back downhill and turn to the right. My disc forgot to do that last part I was talking about. I would say the most painful thing about this hole is that even if you throw a perfect shot, you are going to hit a tree. Every now and again you'll see one get all the way down there without hitting a tree, but it's never that perfect line at the basket because there's like 5 or 6 trees just right in the middle of the fairway once you get all the way down there. So you really have to just kind of throw something that just gets lucky and pulls a Han Solo move, weaving in and out of trees, because now you see what I'm talking about. This is the other hole in the course that I think could be one of the best wooded holes in Georgia if we took down, 5 trees, but as it is, it's just a gauntlet. The only thing harder than playing 16, 17, 18 to finish on this course is to be on the second card in open, and you'll start on hole 2, which is an easy little hole. But hole 1 is about equivalent to hole 17 in hardness. It very rarely gets birdied, and it gives up lots of 4s and 5s. So if you start on hole 2, you finish with 16, 17, 18, and hole 1. And I would bet money on anyone in the world not finishing under par in that stretch on most occasions. I was able to scramble out of the, really out of hole 16's green to get down there with my Envy to tap out for the 3. So 7 under, even after the 4 and the 5, still a pretty solid round. Looking to shoot in the 40s here if I don't stumble coming down these last 3 holes. And shooting in the 40s here is always up in the 10-20s, 10-30s. Going Thumber with the thrill, just barely over the broken off tree. It'll be a little bit right, but should give me a second shot. So you got to go up basically the line Haley took. That tree just left of her disc is the tree in the middle of the fairway. So if you're trying to get the birdie, it is a par 3. If you're trying to get the birdie, you have to go to the left of that tree, but with a lot of anhyzer, and then flex while pushing forward and missing a lot of other trees. So I decided just to go with the thumber during the tournament and play it for the 3. Nice shot. So the brutal thing about hole 1 here is if you early release a little bit, it's this uphill turnover shot. So you early release, you hit one of those first trees on the left side of it, you kick down this hill and over onto hole 9 or possibly even hole 18, and it can quickly add up to 5, 6, even 7 from over there. Or if you grip lock this uphill turnover shot off the tee, you could hit an early tree on the right side, and it's a huge downhill through thick woods on the right side. In fact, we were discussing how far right you have to kick before you just go ahead and take a re-tee.
Nice shot.
Excellent shot from Haley there. She threw 2 perfect shots on this hole. It's exactly how you want to play it for 3. Unless you like to throw that overhand off the tee like me, and that worked out pretty good too. Haley had a little bit of a tough start to this round, but she has really come on towards the end.
Yep.
She had a nice stretch through Birdie Alley, and then she picked up the birdie on hole 16, which is crazy. Looks like she's going to take a 3 here on hole 1. She's getting all the really tough holes. Oh, Sebastian's going to thank the gods for that one. The disc gods allowed him in. Alright, hole 1. Really didn't beat us up too bad. Carolyn got the 5, but I mean, you see that from open players on hole 1, so not too bad. Hole 2, our last chance to get, well, last real chance to get a birdie. Hole 3 is pretty long. I generally want to get hole 2 every round. I would say I birdie it 4 out of 5 times casually. I always throw a little soft thumber down that left side if I'm throwing overhands. If not, I'll just chip a sidearm down that side. It's really not set up for a backhand very well. Although once we get onto the lead card videos, you'll see a couple of those guys that throw backhands on this hole. And you will see there is a backhand line. It's just not as easy as dumping the overhand or forehand down that left side.
Good tree then. Very good
The
tree.
creek on this hole is actually not out of bounds. You can see that little bridge down at the bottom. It's not usually much of a creek, but it's kind of a gross little abyss right now. Good little pitch ups from Carolyn and Carla. All kinds of fuzz blowing in the wind there.
Nice
Good
boy.
putt. I'm sorry.
Very nice putt from Sebastian. His tee shot caught one of those late trees. Didn't think he was going to get the birdie, but he comes in with the uphill 40, 50-foot jumper. That was an excellent putt. Haley had a really nice line on that one. Didn't quite convert the birdie, but good try. So I got this framed up look at this putt. There's between those two trees I'm trying to putt back through now, and there was this guy on the path. He was spectating, I think, but then he kind of went to his cell phone, so he wasn't paying attention anymore, and he was just framed up with the basket in between the trees, and I putted it right at him. So it put me in a pretty tough comeback spot. So getting the 4 there on hole 2 is basically just put a big damper on this round. Now I'm going to have to birdie the very elusive hole 3 if I want to shoot in the 40s and have a chance at being leader. We're going to slow motion for Sebastian here. Believe this is a shrike that he's throwing. Whatever it is, he threw it beautifully. It's going to be all the way up there for a birdie putt. It's crazy. The last 3 times I played with Sebastian, he has birdied this hole. Which is pretty crazy because I probably haven't birdied it 3 times in the last 6 months.
Yeah, good shot.
So the tee pad on this one is pointed way left of where the basket is. It's also pointed uphill, so it's just a really deceiving tee shot from where you really want to aim. There's an inside line and an outside line. That was just a awfulness line. I was trying to throw actually a late landing roller with a really flippy disc, and just threw it a little too high. Lucky enough to find that thumber window out of there. Wow. Sweet little roll at the end of that one from the fireball. And that should get me a tap in par. Stop the damage. Carolyn's got a pretty tough angle here. I don't know if she'll be able to get it all the way up there. Pretty nice shot. Plays it to the safe side. And a nice upshot from Haley. So Carla and Carolyn are both gonna finish this round in the low 70s, but that is actually above their ratings. They're both rated in the low to mid 700s. Definitely both still new golfers that are improving. Sebastian shoots well above his rating in this round. I believe he shoots a 54, which is 2 under par. I'm going to shoot a 50, and it's actually going to end me in a 3-way tie for the lead with Dustin Perry and Walton Satcher. So we'll have those guys and also Joey Lutz and John Matlack on our second round lead card footage. So I'm going to finish at -6, Sebastian at -2, Haley at +6, Carla +16, Carolyn +17. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thanks to Will Peterson for filming. Thanks to MVP Disc Sports for being the video sponsor for this event. And also thanks to Rule 18 for being the presenting sponsor of this event. Thank you guys for watching Matt Dollar Disc Golf, and please check back for more videos.